Are you Darcy Waldron? Yeah? Okay, from Cayuga. And you think that the shooter should have been a better shot? Is that what you posted on Facebook?
I am at work.
You think that the shooter should have been a shooter, huh?
I am at work.
Yeah, I think that's pretty messed up. Pretty anti-American, if you ask me. As a veteran, I'm disgusted. What have you provided to this country? Huh?
He's not.
I'm sorry.
He's not wrong.
This is ridiculous. You are ridiculous. And I'm making you famous.
I don't know if this is a real quote or not, but was it Mike Tyson who said that some of the people, they're real brave and they say some of the stuff online because they don't get hit in the face or something to that effect? And I just feel like people are always super brave online, but then in person they get real meek, and they kind of cower. And that's so this lady was at Home Depot and she made a stupid remark about the attempted assassination of the former president, potential next president of the United States. This is not, I just think out of all the things you're going to joke about and say something asinine about, maybe not that. And now there's this huge argument on the right now about cancel culture. And I am, in this instance, I think I'm legit right in the middle because I told you guys last hour, I don't know if I want reconciliation. I really don't think so. Because I've been targeted by cancel culture. A lot of my friends have been targeted by cancel culture. And the only time in my 17 plus year career and as an activist or as, part of the commentariat that I've ever seen the left flinch has been when these rules have been used against them. And then they're all of a sudden, oh, well, maybe I should take inventory of this. I wanted to talk to my friend Nick Searcy about this because he made a really good point. And all of my friends are arguing about this. But I feel like Nick Searcy has a little bit more gravitas with this because he's literally under the microscope in Hollywood. Everybody knows who he is. He's lived through all of this. He's been able to thrive in spite of all of this. He's got a book out, Justify This, A Career Without Compromise. He was behind Capital Punishment, the movie. And he's, writer, director. Everybody knows who Nick is. He made this response because my friend Kurt Schlichter said there's controversy about this because it's unpleasant, but we've been betraying our own powerless people if we don't use the power we have to protect them. And Nick wrote, yes, damn right, my friend. They made these rules and it's time. Now it's their turn to not pass go and go directly to jail or the unemployment line. And he joins me now via Skype. Nick, always so good to see you. I mean, am I wrong in that, I'm in the middle of it and I feel like maybe randos and politicians should be measured differently. But at the same time, how long have we dealt with this? How long have people on the right been targeted by people on the left and had their livelihoods upended and have their characters impugned because of stuff like this?
At least since the election of Obama. And since when Trump, the January 6th event, I know so many people in Hollywood whose lives were ruined by the COVID mandates that they dared to question the vaccine. And so many actors that, you might not know their names. They're not as famous as a big star like me. But, there's guys like Jay Johnston, fired from his show, Bob's Burger, immediately after it was revealed that he was at January 6th. All of his Hollywood friends, he was very well connected, worked with people like Jack Black and Bob Odenkirk. All of them shut him down, turned him off, canceled. My friend Siaka Massaquoi, same thing, lost his agent, lost everything. And the fact of the matter is, Dana, we on the right can't cancel anybody. The thing that happened to Jack Black's people, that guy being dropped by his agent, that's his own fear-based leftist agent canceling him. We can't do it. I can't cancel Bob De Niro any more than I've already canceled him, any more than I've just said I'm not going to put any more money in that guy's pocket. But we don't have the power. The only way this stops is when the left stops doing it. So until they stop doing it, we need to do it right back to them.
That's a really good point, and one that Kane was talking about too on break. The right kind of has the power of the purse, and we, as you just said, I mean, as most as you can do is to not put your money in other people's pockets, but they control these cultural institutions.
Absolutely right. I know, even in my own experience, I mean, I have certainly not suffered as much as some people, but in my own experience, right after it was, January 6th, I got a call from my agent. I just, my agent who never calls me, he says, I just got a call from a casting director, says that you were in the building. Were you in the building? And I go, no, why? He said, she has a picture of somebody she says is you, and she's circulating it throughout all of the other casting directors in Hollywood, telling people, Nick Searcy went in the building. We should never never hire him again. And this casting director was a good friend of mine, somebody I had known for 25 years. So that I don't know how much, a lot of the actors in Hollywood certainly don't know how much of a price they've paid. Some of them do. Like, I don't know how many roles that, I might have done.
Right.
But I don't want to focus on that, because I'm grateful for what I have, and I'm glad that I'm able to stand up for what I believe. And but I have no sympathy for these people. If you can grasp that from my passion.
I couldn't tell from this Peabody Award-winning actor. I couldn't tell that he had no sympathy for him. We're talking with our good friend Nick Searcy. In this instance, like you mentioned the Jack Black thing, and I don't know why people. I saw immediately Jack Black had his. It looked like, I guess, his machine tried to rehabilitate him. But he was at that Los Angeles fundraiser for Biden, a week ago, where he was recorded on stage saying that he thought that the former president was a threat to democracy, which I guess that's just a meaningless slogan to them. But apparently, it carries weight because someone tried to kill Trump on Saturday. So why Kyle Gash just had the balls to say what they both thought.
Yeah, they just said it out loud because they think nothing will ever happen to them. And, that's the thing. What do they think is going to happen when they demonize a whole group of people? They call Trump Hitler. They call him a threat to democracy over and over again. He's a racist. He's a Nazi. He's Hitler. What's the biggest question anybody ever asked? The biggest hypothetical? If you had the chance to go back in time and kill Hitler, would you do it? That's the question. So they call him Hitler for 8 years, and then somebody tries to kill him and they act shocked.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Talking with our friend Nick Searcy, this woman with Home Depot, do you think that there's a difference between like the Jack Blacks or like the Adam Schiffs, and then I don't even know this lady's name at Home Depot? I mean, should we incorporate like different measures, or is it just like one? Because and this is where I get torn, like on randos versus people who are in the public sphere. Because I agree with both sides of this. I don't know if I want, honestly, reconciliation with anyone. I feel like, we've been through this. We've endured it for so long. And like I said, the only way that the left takes notice is when we use these rules against them. Why is it incumbent upon us to be the people who are always the merciful people and always the one who take the licks? I mean, should we apply these different standards if it's a rando versus like a politician or a celebrity?
I say no. I say no because I think of all the randos on our side that have been tortured by these people for 8 years, that have been run out of their jobs. They're afraid to wear their MAGA hat because they know what will happen to them. They're afraid to put a Trump sticker on their truck because they know somebody will key it. I say we have to treat all of them exactly the way they've been treating us so that they know what it is, so that they have a moment of self-reflection rather than just constantly projecting their hatred onto us and making us the only ones that pay the price. Let them pay the price.
My only concern in the right is not because for the left. I'm not concerned about the left. Are you worried about using the left's tactics that we would become more like them? Because I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I can state it as like a concern, but I don't know what's in people's minds or hearts. And I don't know if we would ever, I can't see the right becoming like the left in that regard.
No, I don't fear that at all, because we have for the most part on the right, we have a higher power that we tend to moderate our behavior because of that. They don't have that on the left. They don't care. They're willing to do anything because they think that the power means everything. They're right by any means necessary. That's one of their slogans. So no, we're not going to be like them, even if we fight the same way they fight. It's like, if somebody challenges you to a fight, you bring the same weapon that he brings. There's no way you're going to have a fight if you're just going with your fists and he has a flamethrower. That is just the way it works. So
I
hope that answers the question.
Yeah, no, I think it does. You mentioned too that the left's they're the only people who can stop this. And I know that there are like some people out there like Jerry Seinfeld, who I know we don't agree with on everything, on some of the woke and cancel culture. He said some things and I'm like, okay, that's pretty reasonable. It seems like he's getting it, but he's obviously not enough. What is it going to take? Because apparently, like they've been targeting him at his stand-up routines because of some of the stuff that he said against cancel culture. So at what point do more of them speak out, or is it just they see what people like Seinfeld or these other guys go through and they're like, okay, that's it. I'm not going to say anything.
They have to be beaten. I mean that electorally. I don't mean physically. but they have to be defeated. That's the only way. And the way you do it, the only way they will wake up is when they realize that the tactics they've been using on us can be used on them.
Yeah.
That's the only way they will ever wake up. And that's why I say no mercy, no, forgiveness is one thing. I can forgive them in my heart, but they can still suffer the consequences of what they've done.
Do you just maybe think of something? Do you think that that's what happened with the Kyle Gass thing, with where his agent, his management or his agent dropped him? Do you think that that was sort of them realizing, oh, is that an effect of this, of that accountability? Because you said that they were afraid of, I guess, being associated with what he had said, and so they wanted to get away from him. Is that maybe like a success? Would you count it as a success of the right kind of using that tactic against the left, and so they just decided to act of their own accord?
I don't want to give them too much credit. I think that they probably just reacted out of fear. They're just like, oh, this is bad. We need to get away from this. It's bad. Everybody says it's bad. Let's get away. That's the way Hollywood works. They don't really think anything past their own self-interest, especially on the agency side.
Yeah.
So I think that's what that I don't think they're having a moment of revelation or anything.
That's a good point. One last question for you, my good friend Nick Searcy. You're so kind of join us because we were like, we got to have Nick on today after what we were all talking about online. The president is going to be speaking on Thursday, and I don't know if he had an address already figured out, but it said that I read one report where they kind of went back to the drawing board and they were going to craft something that was a little bit more, obviously, a little bit more about maybe unity. I don't know what that would sound like, but for Trump to come out and make remarks about, what are you anticipating Thursday? Like if he was talking about unity, how would that sound?
I don't know. I think his speech is the most anticipated thing, at least for me personally. I haven't looked forward to anything like this for a long time. I think what happened on Saturday when I saw him react the way that he did, I burst into tears. And I was so moved by his courage to stand up after somebody tried to kill him and do that. I don't know. It'll be, I can't answer that. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what he's going to say. But I will say that when I saw him walk in on that first day of the RNC, to me, he looked visibly emotional and visibly moved.
It was unusual. He was very
still
moved.
And I think he's having a realization that he's still alive and God kept him alive for a purpose.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of I think that is going to be expressed by his speech on Thursday.
That's a speech that you and many others, I don't know if there's ever been a speech at a convention so anticipated as this one. And we're going to see exactly what the president says. My good friend Nick Searcy, make sure you go and get his book because it's out now and you can find it anywhere books are sold. Justify This: Career Without Compromise. And make sure you check out Capital Punishment, his movie. And you can find him, on X. Yes, Nick Searcy. I almost said Twitter. Nick, so good to see you. God bless you, my friend. So appreciate you joining us.
God bless you, Dana.
Okay,
Thank you.
Take care.